During last week's 3-Minute Thursdays, we briefly talked about how you maintain relevancy for your brand during these times. But in today's digital deep dive, we will decode the impact of COVID-19 within the digital media landscape.
I'm blessed with a dream. That's all I got, that's all I need. I'm gonna be where I wanna be.
What's up, Decoders? This is Chris Kidd coming back to you with another digital deep dive. Before we get into our segment, I just want to, say thank you all for tuning in. And, we just really hope that you guys are really, being safe and practicing social distancing while we're going through this pandemic.
How's it been for you? How have you been dealing with it?
How I've been doing with it. So I think this has really been a true test of how, of just like your mental, physical, spiritual, financial, it just tests all those type of different verticals. With that being said, I've been tested in each one. And I think that this has, we'll all get through this and this will make us stronger at the end of the day. But it really is really just interesting seeing how this is impacting everyone and not just you.
Definitely. And on mine, it's absolutely the same thing. I think one of the difficult things is like you said, from personal and emotional perspective, being able to just engage with people. Some of the little things that you realize you're not going to be able to do for a while, like seeing somebody and, dapping them up, shaking their hand, things like right. Of course, getting a haircut and a shave, not happening right now, as you can see. And then just like from a work perspective, like in a business perspective, like needing and wanting to concentrate on things like how to, be successful and grow this business and engage with clients and in these meetings and trying not to think about everything else that's going on in the world. So I think all that is super difficult. And then something very difficult for me, that hits really directly home is I don't mind telling people this now, but I think this is important to let people know as well. From the reason we took our break is that I actually did transmit COVID-19. And so for a period of time, I was actually, not able to do this. I had fever and in the bed and aches and the pains. Luckily, never anything that required hospitalization, but definitely something that made it difficult to work and speak and talk. And so had to take, some time off to recover from that. And then I think both of us just taking some time to mentally deal with everything we were doing and figure out the best way for this to continue with us not being able to work together directly.
Coronavirus has impacted advertisers across the globe, from Fortune 500 companies all the way to small mom and pop business owners. That's because nobody is able to spend money and everyone is reserving their money for essential needs, such as food, medical supplies, rent, and the list can go on. As of April 1st, according to local businesses worldwide, 35% of local businesses are losing customers and 27% are temporarily closing.
Definitely, like you said, franchises like Subway, some of them are closed. Like not everybody is able to successfully, be able to do this meal delivery from home through Postmates, Uber Eats, or things like that. There are stores that I see and ate at all the time that might have even tried it for a little while. And I'm assuming maybe the revenue that they needed wasn't coming in to continue to stay open. And so they had to shut their doors completely. And, there's a lot of concern and a lot of conversation, both on the news and within the neighborhood. Both of us stay in Harlem, about whether some of these businesses are going to open back up. Because, delay and deferment in payment can only help so much. I mean, at the end of the day, if that money is not coming back in, that eventually somebody's going to have to pay it. And if it can't be afforded to be paid by the business, then there's that real risk of them not coming back.
I agree. Now, as it relates to media in the United States, advertisers are estimated to pull back on ad spend amongst the following channels. Paid search and paid social media is expected to see about 30% decline in ad spend. Whereas with digital display and digital audio, they're also expected to see about an average of a 35% pullback. Now, digital video is also expecting to see pullback at 32%. However, digital video is actually one of the only channels where we see an increase where people are consuming most of their media at. John, what do you think will be the first bounce back?
Probably, outside of, I think, some of those projections, I think we both discussed this article before getting on the call, is that video will overall still have like growth from a year over year perspective, but what it was expected to be versus what it is now is going to be dramatically less by the billions or trillions of dollars. So I think if you want to say what'll be first, I think video will continue to have some opportunity to grow. Probably, my opinion, next would probably be search, maybe just because a lot of those things that people couldn't get or didn't get during the quarantine time will finally be something they want. And you'll see a lot of that intent-based searching going on for some of those things that they may have, thought about, hey, now that I'm here in this house, maybe I should buy a pull-up bar or an elliptical or something like that. And so, I think search is probably, my opinion, next, just because it's so intent-driven that it'll naturally come back as people naturally start to engage with things and spend money again.
I completely agree. And if you check out our last 3 Minute Thursday, which we just shot and posted, you will see that what a lot of small businesses are doing so that what they can do to maintain relevancy. You're probably asking, why are, channels pulling back? Well, advertisers across the globe would rather pull back on ad spend and allocate those funds for their essential needs as it relates to their business. And this will help them save money and remain open once this pandemic is over. Again, in episode 2, we discussed the differences between the client, advertiser, and the platform. Within that same topic, we also discussed where the media agencies are considered the middleman, and when cutbacks are made, they're one of the first people to receive some of those cutbacks and drawbacks.
Absolutely, and we're seeing it right now.
In March, 34% of agencies canceled all their campaigns completely, which is now increased to 44% in April. Due to the financial hits, media agencies across the globe are taking multiple operational hits too, like salary decreases from executives all the way down to managers. There has also been a hold on the hiring for new talent and for promotions. Benefit decreases has came apart, such as medical and even 401k matching. And of course, there has been many layoffs and furloughs. I'm speaking from experience here, so please believe me when I say that media agencies are really taking a hit across the board. John, from what you know, how has COVID-19 impacted the business for the platforms?
Platforms, yeah, no. So on both sides, within conversations with clients, we've definitely heard the need or desire for them to either, in some dramatic cases, essentially, what they pretty much told us was they either had to cut their marketing budget or they had to cut their staff. And so ultimately, in order to preserve jobs, they ended up deciding to cut advertising spend, which is completely understandable, definitely something that businesses had to do. To speak on the end client side, as far as platform side goes for the company that I work for, definitely just overall, I guess you could say planning for the worst, essentially, but hoping for the best. It definitely varies by industry, I think. But overall, I think there is a decrease on all digital platforms. Even, Chris, for you, something I wanted us to kind of talk back and forth and think through is, what do you feel like this impact long-term is going to end up being on some of those smaller businesses, particularly those ones that couldn't stay open during this time period because they're not considered essential?
That's a really good question, John. I really don't have the answers. All I can just speak on that from my experience is that I see a lot of businesses are closing and a lot of businesses are no longer moved out of the space that they were renting. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, to be honest. It's very sad. We live in a community that is very dependent on, small businesses and being, you have to be open to maintain relevancy. So with that being said, to even just stay open for business, you have to be open for business to have a business. So with that being said, I think it's really unfortunate that that's the reality of the situation. And I don't know how people can bounce back.
The answer in short is it varies. I feel like it depends on what type of business you had and whether it's something that makes for easy residual income or whether it's a business that is never going to recoup what it lost. And I think the unfortunate part is their business is like that.
Like you said earlier, there's no way where companies are going to be able to catch back up. I think once, just like how agencies are taking salary decreases, you can't make that money back up once an advertiser pulls money away. There's no way, there's no cushion for that. So if anybody, when advertisers start taking hits, everybody under the advertiser starts taking hits. So that's the customers, those are the agencies, those are the media agencies, those are the media partners, platforms, etc.
Definitely. So I wanted to kind of switch to a different lens here as well, still about the marketing and advertising, but maybe something I've been seeing in a discussion I've been having that eMarketer did a study on, which was around a lot of businesses, I think, are asking the question, particularly if they're a non-essential business, and even if they are essential business, whether or not they should be advertising at all, whether it might feel inappropriate or offensive in some way to people who are seeing their ads and maybe thinking, oh, I'm going through a pandemic. I don't want to, see a Coca-Cola ad, or I don't want to see, a car ad. I'm not thinking about buying a car right now. I'm thinking about staying safe and heaven forbid, staying alive.
I would say that is very true. I think what the biggest takeaway from that study is to make sure that you are considerate of your tone. So I saw a ad for a Ford commercial, and it was basically saying, during these stressful times, because nobody's buying cars. Let's just be honest, nobody's buying cars right now. So the way that they're staying a part of the conversation is addressing the situation by their tone and saying that we'll all get through this. And I think what was great is that they use their historical longevity to say, hey, we've been here since X, Y, and Z. We've been here through all these historical changes, and this is when we're going to make it through this one. You know what I mean? I think it's really reassuring for the consumer, it's reassuring for the brand, and it's just also a positive image that they're putting out there, addressing that we know we're not an essential business. We know that that you're not buying cars right now, but we'll all get through this. And I think that's something that really stuck with me, because it was not the actual product, it was the actual message.
Exactly. No, I definitely agree. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I can't really be worded any other way. I think it's all about the messaging.
I agree. And I think as it relates to our decoders, our audience, the people who are watching our videos, definitely check out our 3 Minute Thursday, because we definitely put some tips and some, information out there as it can relate as what you can do. Not everybody can afford a Ford commercial or a Ford spot, but you can, but what you can do is leverage online video to help keep your brand top of mind for your consumer. So definitely check out our 3 Minute Thursday that we just posted earlier this week. Coming out of COVID-19 and this pandemic, we're going to really understand how we are going to leverage online video moving forward, because that is the only channel right now where you can actually get people to see your brand or to see your content. And I think that is going to be a huge takeaway from all this, because it's why invest in, digital display? Nobody was on it during COVID-19, and they're probably not going to be on it anytime soon. So let's continue to put our efforts in online video.
A lot of creators, including ourselves right now, are engaging with each other through Skype and social media. A lot of times, if you watch YouTube videos of creators and things before, they might have interviewed someone remotely using a Skype or a Teams or a Zoom or something like that. But it wasn't something that you saw on your TV when you turned on CNN or when you turned on, Saturday Night Live or when you turned on, Trevor Noah Daily Show. That was not the quality of production you expected. And I think for us as millennials and Gen Z, when we saw it on the TV, I don't think it bothered us as much because we were used to engaging with content like that through YouTube and Snapchat and Instagram Live. But I think what it has shown is that an older audience who may not have engaged with their media like that is able to adapt to that. And that those companies, those big companies, are able to adapt to that too. And I think an opportunity that this may provide is that comfortability people have without super polished production level content with multiple cameras and makeup teams and everything like that is something that people are more used to, right? As you can see with our non-cut hair.
Speak for yourself, brother. You know,
and unshaven beards here, but like that, it's created an even playing field, I think, to a certain extent, outside of maybe the people you're interviewing or the people you get to reach out to, like presidential candidates to you know, somebody who teaches recipes online or using the same technology to communicate and record with their fans. And so, like, I think that's something profound to think about and definitely an opportunity for smaller businesses with smaller budgets. So I think that's all we really wanted to do for this episode, is just like have a natural conversation between us and with you guys, get some of those ideas we were having out, get some of those fears we were having out, let you know how we were doing. Because like I know I said towards the beginning, we had to, you know, shut down for a second until we get our lives together to a certain extent. And so definitely wanted to let you know we're going to be here as much as we can during this time period and beyond. Going to continue to put out regular episodes from here on out, unless, knock on wood, God forbid, something worse happens. So we'll definitely see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay home. If you need more information about COVID-19, visit cdc.gov for more information about the virus and how to protect yourself. And if you need more information as a small business owner about how to try to be safe, get loan opportunities, keep your doors open during this time period, visit SBA, Small Business Association.gov for that assistance as well. And with that, we'll see you in the next one.